Niccolò Machiavelli once posed the most dangerous question in the history of power. Is it better to be loved or feared? For 500 years, the masses have debated this as if it were a multiple-choice exam. They are wrong. Both options are traps. If you choose to be loved, you are choosing to be a pleaser. You are choosing to be a slave to the fickle emotions of a crowd that will forget your name the moment you stop providing them with value. Love is a debt that you must pay every single day. If you choose to be feared, you are choosing to be a target. Fear creates a pressure cooker of resentment. It puts a timer on your head, and your enemies are simply waiting for you to close your eyes. Both love and fear require you to manage other people's emotions. An Archon does not manage emotions. An Archon manages boundaries. The problem with seeking love or fear is that both require an audience. If you need people to love you, they own you. If you need people to fear you, they still own you, because your identity is tied to their reaction. This is the false binary. It keeps you in a state of constant performance, always checking the room, always adjusting your mask, always wondering if the leash is tight enough. In the social arena, the person who is performing is the person who is losing. True power is not a performance, it is a presence. It is the realization that the heart and the gut are too unstable to build a foundation on. You don't need their affection, and you don't need their terror. You need their recognition of your sovereignty. Today, we initiate Protocol 005, the architecture of fear. We are moving beyond the love versus fear debate and entering the realm of respect. Respect is not a feeling, it is a structural reality. It is the wall that defines where you end and the world begins. In this session, we are going to declassify the secret Machiavelli only whispered between the lines, that the ultimate position of power is to be unmoved. We are going to show you how to build a social architecture so solid that it doesn't need to shout to be heard and doesn't need to hit to be felt. If you have been begging for love or demanding fear, your training starts now. Stop performing. Start existing. Let's begin. To understand the architecture, you must first understand the architect. Niccolò Machiavelli was not a king, a general, or a tyrant. He was a survivor. He lived in a Renaissance Italy that was a laboratory of human failure, a place where the noble were executed and the idealistic were forgotten. He sat at the center of the storm, watching as the Medici family and the Borgias rose and fell. He didn't write The Prince as a work of philosophy. He wrote it as a post-mortem of dead leaders. He realized that the world doesn't care about your intentions, it only cares about your sovereignty. He wasn't teaching you how to be evil. He was teaching you how to be symmetrical to the reality of human nature. Machiavelli's genius was in his observation of the currency of influence. He watched leaders who were loved by their people get betrayed the absolute second the gold ran out or a stronger threat appeared. Love is an emotion that the other person controls. He watched leaders who were feared get assassinated the moment they showed a single flicker of hesitation. Fear is a pressure cooker that eventually explodes. The Archon looks at these case studies and sees a mechanical flaw. If you depend on love or fear, you are building your fortress on the shifting sands of other people's perceptions. Machiavelli realized that the only stable foundation is the law of reality. He moved past the performance of leadership and looked at the mechanics of it. He saw that the most successful players weren't the most aggressive. They were the ones who were most prepared for the inevitable betrayal of the crowd. The secret Machiavelli left for the Archon is this: you do not build a wall to be a tyrant. You build a wall to define where the chaos ends and where you begin. This is the architecture of fear in its purest form. It is the realization that respect is not something you beg for. It is a byproduct of being an immovable object. Whether you are navigating the courts of Florence in 1513 or the high-stakes boardrooms of Accra in 2026, the law remains the same. Information is for equals. Permission is for subordinates. But for the architect, the only currency that matters is a presence that cannot be moved by the wind of opinion. You aren't here to win a popularity contest. You are here to secure your domain. Let's look at how we build that currency today. If love is a gift you must beg for, and fear is a debt you must eventually pay, respect is the only currency that is truly sovereign. Most people fail because they believe respect is earned through niceness or toughness. It is neither. Love is a variable that the other person controls. Fear is a volatile asset that eventually explodes in your face. The Archon seeks the third state. Respect is the structural stability that exists when people realize that your boundaries are not suggestions. They are laws of nature. You don't build respect by being loud. You build it by being consistent. In the social arena, the person who is respected is the person whose no is a stone wall and whose yes is a signed contract. You aren't seeking to be liked. You are seeking to be an immovable object. Respect is built on the foundation of predictable consequences. When a loved person is disrespected, they offer a lecture. They beg for understanding. When a feared person is disrespected, they offer an explosion. They leak energy. But when an Archon is disrespected, the response is a psychological void. You do not yell. You do not explain. You simply remove your presence or your value. You shift into a frequency of zero data. When you provide no reaction to a provocation, the other person is forced to deal with their own internal chaos. They realize that they cannot move you. This creates a state of calculated caution in others. They begin to weigh their words because they know that you are a system with no backdoors. You don't have to demand respect when your silence already enforces it. Respect is the only currency that does not devalue with time. Why? Because it is based on sovereignty, not sentiment. Think of it as a border. A border doesn't need to explain why it exists. It simply defines where one domain ends and another begins. The moment you start trying to justify your worth or earn someone's approval, you have devalued your own currency. You have signaled that your value is up for negotiation. The Archon does not negotiate for respect. You inhabit it. You move through the world with the weight of a person who knows exactly where their line is drawn. People don't respect you because you are better than them. They respect you because they know that your line does not move. Be the mountain. Let the wind of their opinions exhaust itself against your stone. The moment you have to explain a boundary, you have already surrendered it. Most people think that setting a boundary means having a conversation. They say, "It makes me feel uncomfortable when you do that," or "Please don't speak to me that way." In the social arena, this is not a boundary, it is an apology. When you explain your limits, you are essentially asking for permission to have them. You are signaling that your sovereignty is up for debate, and that if the other person has a good enough counterargument, you might move your line. An Archon does not negotiate for space. Permission is for subordinates. Information is for equals. But for the sovereign, boundaries are not discussed, they are experienced. So, how do you build a wall without speaking? You use the tactical pivot. If someone interrupts you in a meeting, do not say, "I wasn't finished." Simply stop talking. Lean back. Look at them with zero data in your eyes. Let the silence become so heavy that the air in the room feels thin. When you refuse to fill the vacuum with a reaction, the interrupter is forced to deal with the weight of their own intrusion. They will begin to stutter. They will seek validation. They will realize, on a primal level, that they have hit a stone wall. You didn't tell them they were rude. You made them feel their own lack of control. This is the difference between a sign that says, "Private property," in an electric fence. One requires literacy, the other only requires a touch to be understood. Felt boundaries create a psychological electric fence. People will not know exactly why they treat you with caution, but they will know that pushing against you results in a sudden, cold discomfort. You are not being aggressive. You are being solid. Think of a mountain. It doesn't send a letter to the wind asking it to stop blowing. It simply remains. Eventually, the wind gets tired of hitting the stone and moves around it. When your boundaries are felt rather than explained, you become an enigma, a fortress with no visible gate. People stop testing you because they realize there is no button to push, no ego to bruise, and no reaction to harvest. You are the space, not the player. The architecture is complete. Stay unreadable. Stay Archon. The architecture is complete. From this moment on, you must look at the world through the eyes of an engineer, not a performer. The quest to be loved or feared was a game for people who haven't mastered their own internal state. It was a search for external validation, a leash that you handed to the crowd. By choosing respect, you have cut that leash. You have realized that power is not found in the reaction of others, but in your own immovable presence. You are no longer managing their emotions. You are enforcing your own structural integrity. The walls of your fortress are not built of stone, but of the silent, non-negotiable boundaries you inhabit. You have stopped begging for space. You have become the space. As you move back into the social arena, you will perform a high-level audit of every interaction. You will notice when someone tests your boundary, and you will meet them with a void. You will notice when someone tries to pull you into a love or fear trap, and you will remain unmoved. Remember the secret of the architect. If they cannot find a handle, they cannot pull you. If they cannot find a button, they cannot trigger you. Your silence is now your shield. Your consistency is now your sword. This is the dark psychology that the loud and the aggressive will never understand. They are fighting for attention. You are securing sovereignty. The era of the pleaser is over. The era of the Archon has begun. Protocol 005 is now fully active. The blueprints are yours. Whether you are navigating the high-stakes corridors of power or the quiet battlegrounds of daily life, stay solid. Stay mountain. The wind will eventually die down, but the stone remains forever. If you are ready to stop explaining your worth and start inhabiting your power, comment respect below. This is your mark in the archive, a signal to the other Archons that your boundaries are now written in stone. Subscribe to ensure you are notified when we declassify the next restricted file. Our work is only just beginning. Stay unreadable. Stay Archon.